Plenty of action across the Under-18s Premier League, up and down all across the country today. Some games already at the half-time points. 5 of them in actual fact. 11 o'clock kickoffs this morning. This one of 6 midday starts. There's a 12:30 game thrown in there as well. So plenty of academy football all across the country as we get underway here at the Crystal Palace training ground. Palace hosting Norwich City. Let's see if Palace can build from that 3-0 win before the international break. Now, here's Jesse Derry in possession here early on. Back he goes to Walker Smith. We expect Palace to line up in a similar way to the first team. Tyler White over on that far right side as the right wing back, and Freddie Cohen on this left side. There's an early opportunity maybe here though for Norwich to cause an issue or two, but it's collected there by goalkeeper Marcus Hill. He places the ball down. Will invite the pressure from the Norwich front line to restart. Yeah, you certainly would expect it to be a back 3, back 5 system, interchangeable for Palace throughout the game, with the centre-backs Moana, Walker Smith and George King. 2 full-backs, wing-backs, I should say, really, either side of them. Because they're in possession now. Freddie Cohen plays that down the line here for Casey to get on his bike and chase after, but the referee deems that a foul. Looked to be just a little bit too much contact really in the back of Theo Adalusi. It's the game's first free kick, which goes the way of the visitors.
Osa, girls together!
So goalkeeper Josh Smith sends that up towards the halfway mark. Out on its way as well. Opportunity maybe for Damari Daly, but it's well defended against by Tyler White, who had to time that correctly and did. Got to the ball well to get there before the threatening Daly. Leading the line today for the visitors, the number 9, Damari Daly. Been involved early on. A little opportunity just a minute before that as well, didn't he? But the foul's being given against him there. Both teams, of course, will be looking to start this game strongly and on the front foot. Really set their stall out early on. Goes back to the centre-back there, Walker Smith. A little bit wayward with the pass, but it's kept in play by Moana. And still have possession. Something which we will see from them throughout the game, using the goalkeeper calm and composed and comfortable in possession with the ball at his feet. Also at the other end of the pitch, love to press high like this, don't they, and force an error in a dangerous position to win the ball back. Couldn't quite do it that time. Here's Walker Smith again on the cover though. Helps it back to goalkeeper Hill. 3 minutes played, still goalless. Still no shots on goal so far. In a relatively even start though in the very early exchanges. Looked out to the right back here in the Oligbo. It will be Oligbo here to take this throw. Nice touch from Mundle. Took it on the turn and slips it through as well. The flag does go up though. The flag to Palace's rescue, because Damari Daly, well, he certainly didn't agree with the decision. Had that flag have stayed down, and then Damari Daly might well have been through on goal there. Looked a tight one, didn't it, in honesty? Lovely turn in midfield though from Norwich number 8, Rio Mundle, who scored last game. But for that offside flag, might have had himself an assist there as he looked to provide the pass through to Daly. Palace certainly would have been relying on Hill had that been allowed to flow freely. Here's Cowan. Derry trying to return it back inside to Cowan, who's jumping into the challenge, but fairly saves the referee. Cowan comes away with possession, but that's cut out. King did well in midfield to win it back. It looks as though George King might be lining up in midfield in actual fact. Thought he was going to play in the back line, as I mentioned, in the back three, but it seems as though he might be playing in a slightly more advanced role in defensive midfield by the looks of things here in the opening 5 minutes, so perhaps more of a regular look back for Palace today. Replay of that sliding tackle to catch the ball to begin with, and then the subsequent challenge as well. Certainly the lion's share of possession has been for Norwich so far. There's Jaden Owen, one of those brought into the team today. The left back role. Again there the flag is raised. It's another offside call against the eager, but at the moment slightly over eager, Norwich front line to get him behind. Here's Derry, dropping deeper to get on the ball, picks a good pass as well then. Now Walker Smith clips that one neatly all the way across to Tyler White. It's a slight but important touch from Norwich in midfield then to win possession back. Daly happy to turn and try to play that one back towards Toby Chilvers, but last touch came off the Norwich man, so it's a Palace throw. Taking short there to skipper Seb Williams, who was under no pressure as he received short from that throw-in. Making ground up the line over on the far side at the moment. It's another Palace throw.
Are we going to press? Hugo! What we doing, the short?
I think it was a free kick given there actually, as we seem to restart from the dead ball, but nonetheless back to the game. Cohen happy to go back to Walker Smith. Maybe now the turn for the host, just to try to get their foot on the ball and settle down into this game. Enjoy a spell of possession. Maybe even a period of pressure on the Norwich goal. Defensive work done there though from Daly. Did well to get back and help out defensively. Long then from Jaden Owen, but met well in the air by Mwana. Here's Dashi now trying to feed it through into the penalty area. Oh, there's a touch from the defender, surely, and it is! The referee's not going to allow the goal to count. The offside flag up. And Palace, who thought they had themselves ahead, denied by the offside flag. Let's look again at the replay. Well, this was the build-up to it, wasn't it? As it slipped through here by Dashi. Is he in an offside position? Very tight call, wasn't it? Just wondered whether the Norwich defender over on this near side might have just been a little bit behind the line. That's a foul right on the edge of the penalty area as well. It's all happening in the last couple of moments, and there's a yellow card there as well shown to, I think, Tyler White, the offender in that situation. So the first caution of the game goes his way. Danger was certainly looming though, wasn't it, in front of the Palace goal. And White took the pragmatic but necessary option, which here leads to this free kick. Yeah, certainly seemed a tight call. The pass played through from Dashi. It was well weighted. I thought at first that the run had been timed well enough, but not so in the eyes of the official on the far side. Palace here have some defending to do from this set piece. Good looking delivery, but it's well dealt with. And the header clearance away, clears the penalty area. Oligbo trying to switch the play, and that's neatly done all the way back to Marcus Hill. Dashi doubled up on there though, and they've won the ball back in midfield only momentarily there, though Norwich. Here's Derry. Tries to feed the pass through to the run of Casey, who is the intended destination of that one, but perhaps not quite on the same wavelength there as Jesse Derry on this left wing. Runs all the way through for the goal kick.
Great pass.
Keep going.
Owen trying to make progress down that left wing. Did well, and there's an injury concern here for Palace at the moment, but the game goes on. Here's Owen again. With Lemire asking close support. Gomez, I beg your pardon. For Norwich, number 7. Went on the overlapping run, and the referee's going to stop the game here because there's, as I say, an injury worry for one of the Palace players, which is not what we want to see, certainly not early on in a game like this. Just getting back to his feet over on the far side there. Just trying to work out exactly who that was down momentarily there for Palace, but back to his feet nonetheless, and it looks as though he's going to be okay to continue, which is the good news. We restart then with the referee's drop ball. Back to the goalkeeper and we're underway again as he throws it into the path of Dashi. Here's Williams. Loves to get on the ball in midfield like this and tries to dictate the game at times. Here's Derry with support of an overlapping run as well from Cohen. Derry cuts inside, then tries to switch the play, but it's just too far ahead of Enrique Lemire. Portuguese winger wasn't going to be able to catch that one.
Rio, close up a little bit, Rio. Good job. Help him, D. You don't want the ball. Stay in contact, Charlie. Compete.
Battle for possession there as it's a free kick given here to Palace. So it's a good opportunity here then for Palace to load the penalty area. And we'll see what Palace can do then here from this free kick. A couple of options in terms of taking it to deliver into the penalty area. Plenty in red and blue waiting towards the danger zone as well. Referee blows his whistle. It is going to be a left-footed delivery towards the back post, and it's well dealt with in the end by Finlay Oligbo. It will be a corner, well won there by George King. Could see his intention, and it played out that way as well, with the last touch coming off the Norwich man. So off the back of that wide free kick then, an opportunity again here from this corner. We'll see if it comes to anything this time for the home team. It's taken short, something off the training ground as they change the angle and work it to the edge of the penalty area. Here's Derry, thought about a shot maybe. Again doubled up on though, and that time fouled by Valencia Gomez. I don't think it was an intentional foul on the Palace star man, but Hugo Valencia Gomez certainly didn't get the ball and caught Derry. It's a really good position, isn't it, this, for the resultant free kick. Certainly imagine that Derry himself would be eyeing this one up. Also the left-footed option there of Freddie Cohen. There's 4 players in the Norwich City wall. Will be Derry to strike over the wall, and what an effort that was, but what a save from Norwich City shot stopper Josh Smith. Brilliant strike, and perhaps an even better save from the Norwich goalkeeper. Moving one way as well as he was anticipating it going to his right, had to backtrack and fly across high to his left. That was destined for the top corner, but for the fingertip touch from Josh Smith. Excellent stop. Deserved a goal, didn't it, really, with the quality of the strike from the dead ball. And that's by far the closest that either of the two teams have come to scoring so far. Valencia Gomez on the transition, on the counter-attack now for Norwich, but excellent work from Matteo Dashi to sweep that one up and cover in the right-back position. Pia Bailey happy to go all the way back to Smith. Oligbo trying to find Damari Daly. Daly again commits the foul. 16 minutes on the clock, still Palace 0, Norwich 0 here at the Crystal Palace training ground this afternoon. Norwich probably felt that they settled the quicker of the two teams, but Palace have certainly wrestled some control of the game since that point, and very much on another day could be in front with the disallowed goal for a tight offside call, and then the free kick forcing a bit of a wonder save really from Smith in the Norwich goal. Here's Lameras. Now White, feeding it forwards to Williams if he can keep it in play, which he just about couldn't quite do. And the referee's assistant that time well positioned to make that judgment. It will be the goal kick. Oh, a little bit risky for Norwich, but it did find Mundell in midfield. Trying to play forwards from the back line. Seeley couldn't make it stick though. Here's Williams now. Driving forwards through midfield again, and the referee's going to bring it back for the first foul. Tried to just wait a second or two to see if anything would come from that in terms of a potential advantage, but it didn't, and it certainly was a foul, wasn't it, there on Williams? Valencia Gomez urged to press there on the Norwich bench, but driving forwards is Walker Smith. Certainly resistant to any press there, wasn't he, Charlie Walker Smith? Here's Jesse Derry again. They certainly know that he's the danger player, don't they? The Norwich defence. Every time he gets the ball, there seems to be at least 2 or 3 yellow shirts around him. Switch of play again on the counter, and White gets to it. Will his touch it over the line? It does. And for the throw-in.
Here with the 9. Sonny, get on the ball. On the side. Sonny, get on the ball. Good to get you out here. Step in us. Step in us.
What, Pia Bailey?
Touch and deliver. The shot, you're looking.
Opportunity maybe to cross now here for Oligbo. Well cut out though by Walker Smith. Good defending there from the Palace centre-back. Oligbo's throw to feet, collected by Rowland. Crowded out though there at the moment, still trying to get a delivery into the centre, and the referee's going to for a free kick. Didn't seem to be a whole lot in it, but the officials they're deciding between them, and the linesman had the situation in close proximity to him as well, perhaps helping out the referee with something which he saw. Palace have to set up here to defend this following set play then. Left-footed delivery, looked a little overhit to start with, but perhaps that was where it was intended. A couple of runners towards the near post were not used in the end, and that one's certainly a foul against Benjamin Casey as he tried to get to the ball, but just caught Jaden Owen. Down to ground he went.
Let's get our shape early then. Let's look to play.
Rio, come on.
Free kick then for Norwich to resume again. 21 minutes on the clock now, so much space in midfield there for Mundle. Something which Palace might have to attend to as the game goes on. A league bow feeding it back in here to Mundle again. Once more, Palace able to deal with the delivery, and it was Walker Smith there again. He's done really well so far today. Equal to everything that's been thrown at him so far. Still, the danger not fully clear because of this corner that follows. Nearly at the midway point of this first half, still in search of the game's first goal. The header not with enough conviction behind it to trouble Hill anyhow. It's a comfortable collection for him, looks to set his team away on the counter-attack immediately. Here's Casey now. Could do with some support though. Back to Casey again and to White. The free kick given against Joshua Moana. Damari Daly that time winning the free kick, having conceded a couple himself so far as well. Enrique Lemera, as it was, who was down earlier, and thought for a moment he might not be able to continue, but he certainly seems to have been able to shake off that little knock that he picked up earlier on. Injury concern. Right-footed delivery this time into a central area. Where's that one going to break to? It's cleared away in the end. Palace themselves now might look to turn defence into attack quickly and spring a counter-attack. Derry again, though, doubled up on. And not quite happening so far today for Jesse Derry there as he's dispossessed. Seeley driving forwards through midfield for Norwich. And still going as well into a dangerous area as he cuts it back. Found a teammate in the centre as well, but it was wide of the near post. Certainly warning signs there, though, for Palace. Damari Daly couldn't divert it the way he wanted, but a little bit less contact, so perhaps it might have just caught the goalkeeper out at his near post. Almost got too much of a contact on it, didn't he there, Damari Daly? It's in those transitional moments when the game becomes a little bit more end-to-end that Norwich look most threatening so far. Certainly when Mundle gets on the ball in midfield, it was Seeley that time, who we haven't really seen too much of up until that point, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? Leaves so much space like that in midfield, and it will be pounced upon. An opportunity here for a bit of a drinks break by the looks of things. Chance just for the young players to get some fluids on board. Of course, take on some important messages as well from the two team managers. Greg Crane, you can see there, talking to his Norwich team. Actually, part of the Norwich Academy himself in his playing days before going on to have a career in non-league. Came back to the club and started coaching with the under-9s team, and he's worked his way up through every single age group, up to the under-18s, with whom he's here today with now. But yeah, I certainly think it's been a relatively even game so far. I think is a fair assessment of it in the opening 25. There we see the reason as to why this drinks break has come about. And well, I said that Lemeras seemed to have been able to shake off that injury that he picked up earlier. Doesn't look to be the case now, as he's limping again. Not sure whether that was something which happened as a recurrence or in the more recent minutes, or if it is just that he hasn't been able to shake it off. But we're going to see an opportunity here for the substitution to be made. And it's not one which Palace would have wanted to make in the first half. Lemeras in for his first start of the season. He's going to have to be replaced here. However, on the other side of the coin, it gives an opportunity to the number 14, Zach Henry. He's back on the pitch for the first time in over a year after overcoming a lengthy injury. So great to see him back out there here this afternoon. Hopefully Lemeras' injury isn't too bad. It won't keep him out for too long. But it's an earlier than expected introduction today for Zach Henry then from the substitutes bench. Certainly would expect that to be a like-for-like change as well. It looks as though it is, with Henry occupying that wide right role. Seeley onto the end of it. Couldn't keep his effort down. Showed his speed there to reach it before Walker Smith. Half chance, wasn't it? Certainly for the visitors, but as I say, Lassie and Seeley unable to test the goalkeeper. Bit of a wild effort in the end. Rush of blood to the head maybe as he saw the goal in front of him. Long forwards there from Marcus Hill. Roland. Pierre Bailey goes back to Smith. That's the moment of the first half so far, isn't it, really, for Norwich goalkeeper Josh Smith to deny Jesse Derry from the free kick, which he himself won. Other than that, we haven't seen too much of Derry in the game so far. Still a long way to go, of course. Valencia Gomez finding the ball through as well, and he's got there. Here's Seeley. Cuts back onto his left foot, picks the pass and forces the save. Still there, though, for Daly again, and eventually Palace are able to get it clear. Well, I mentioned the save from Josh Smith at one end, and Marcus Hill having to make one there for Palace, albeit a more comfortable save, but it still needed making. Again, though, Lassie and Seeley causing issues in the Palace back line. It's twice now, isn't it, really, in a matter of as many minutes. And here he is again, Seeley. Beaten to it that time by Walker Smith. Made certain that he that time was going to get to the ball. Adelusi just with enough contact there on Benjamin Casey to nudge him off the ball. Flip header then from Seeley. Valencia Gomez pressing all the way on to goalkeeper Hill. Seemingly sensing a chance to force an error, but it wasn't going to be the case that time at least. Offside flag up there again, and we get back to the game with the free kick taken short. Daly happy to set that one back. Just links the players, the front man, the focal point of Norwich attack. Aligbo. Mundell back into Aligbo. This is promising for the visitors. Valencia Gomez, can he get a shot away? He can, but it's well blocked there by Freddie Cohen. Did well to get his body in the way. Walker Smith with the turn away on the cross to begin with. Only as far as Valencia Gomez, and as I say, it's an important block from Cohen. Just beginning to mount the pressure a little bit now, aren't they, though, on the Palace defence, the visitors here. And with Palace disrupted as well, having to make the substitution. I wonder whether Norwich sense the opening goal. Well collected there by Hill, who quickly starts the counter-attack as well. Cut out, though, by Aligbo aerially. Firm but fair challenge in midfield. Ball was really well won. Pia Bailey clips it forwards. Might be able to latch onto this as well. Here's Seeley looking for a cutback, picking out a cutback, and the referee says penalty. Too much contact in the back of Hugo Valencia Gomez for the referee's liking. And it's going to be an opportunity then from the penalty spot for that foul there against Seb Williams. A yellow card there shown to the Palace skipper as well. Well, I just said that it felt as though Norwich were beginning to mount the pressure on the Palace defence. Bit of a mix-up in the back line, really, between defence and goalkeeper. Lassian Seeley was able to get there and very much involved in the earning of the penalty. And he's going to be the man to take it here. So it's Seeley up against Marcus Hill. Can he make himself a hero here in the Palace goal? Seeley takes it right-footed and scores. And it's Norwich who have themselves ahead with 32 minutes on the clock. Their number 10, Lassian Seeley, gets the opening goal, sends Hill the wrong way. And Norwich themselves will probably argue that they deserve the lead, despite, of course, the good quality opportunities that Palace created earlier in the half. But it's Norwich who have themselves in front. Palace 0, Norwich 1 with 32 on the clock.
Attacking corners, 2 on the edge of the box. Both on the edge of the box. You and Sonny. Got their counter.
Williams was pleading his case to the referee as well, but certainly when Valencia Gomez went to ground, all eyes were on the referee. Gave him a decision to make, and ultimately the match official's decision was that was enough for a penalty. Expertly tucked away by Lassian Seeley, who scored the equaliser at Aston Villa on the opening day of the season. And has himself on the score sheet here again in the first half. So if Palace are to come away from this game with a favourable result, then they're going to have to do it coming from behind. There was a yellow card there shown as well to, I think, Sonny Rowland for Norwich for the foul in midfield. The referee's attention is just being drawn across to something wayward of our camera shot at the moment. And again, it's going to be an opportunity for the players to come across to this near side. Just a reset phase maybe here for Palace. Just need to get back to what they were doing good earlier in the game. Had that spell, didn't they? After Norwich started well, as I mentioned, Palace had wrestled control of the game in their favour. It's gone away from them now, and Norwich will feel that they deserve the lead. Rob Quinn there just calling his players across, passing on orders to the players on the field. Don't think Zach Henry's seen too much of the ball since he was introduced for the injured Enrique Limeras either so far. I'm sure on the opposite flank, the intention will be to get Jesse Derry on the ball as much as practically possible, really. And what we have seen when Derry has had possession is, of course, Norwich very much focusing on him. I mentioned at times in the first half doubling up on him, but sometimes it's been 3 yellow shirts around Derry when he's had the ball at his feet. But of course, what that should then leave is space elsewhere, isn't it, for other players to exploit if Derry can pop a pass off either side. And then you've got the likes of Matteo Dashi, Seb Williams and Casey around him. Should then be space for Palace to exploit elsewhere on the field. Has been a little bit stop-start at times this first half as well, I think it's fair to say. It's 3 fairly significant stoppages in the first 36 minutes now as well. And it looks as though we're going to get the go-ahead to continue then. Tyler White will take the throw-in. Direct in towards the penalty area. Breaks fortunately as well, and the deflection nearly just as fortunate. Certainly an opening, wasn't it, for Palace? As I say, the deflection off the defender could have taken it anywhere, really. Smith, as you'd expect the goalkeeper to be there flat-footed, and it's fortunate for the visitors in the end that it only went behind for the corner. Two hands in the air is the signal from this delivery. It's a good-looking delivery as well, and the header's against the post, and it's kept out. Still there on the follow-up, and the referee points for the goal. Across the line, says the referee. And Palace have themselves back on level terms. Let's look again at the replay. Difficult one, wasn't it, for the referee to see from his position against the post, and had it crossed the line, well, Smith did his best to keep it out. But the header adjudged to have crossed the goal line. And Benjamin Casey gets his Crystal Palace team back on level terms with 38 minutes played. Palace 1, Norwich 1. Certainly not the prettiest goal that Palace will score all season. They won't mind at all about that. And off the back of that almost time-out phase, wasn't it, if you like, as the players came across to the manager on the near side. Palace have got the response that they were looking for, and it came from the set piece. It's exactly what they wanted. 1-1. Towards that near post area at the other end, and it was palmed away well by Hill. That certainly changes the dynamic of the game now, doesn't it? With the onus previously having been on Palace to respond, and switch the way of Norwich now. Free kick here for Palace as well.
Back behind him, front three!
Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure.
Hugo, step to him!
Yes, for sure.
Certainly with what you would expect to be a pretty substantial period of stoppage time at the end of the first half as well. There's definitely still time for another goal before the break. Walker Smith taking it upon himself to drive forward into an advanced area. Derry laying it off that time to Williams. Now Dashi. King. Switching the play out to White. Henry trying to make something of it, and the referee's assistant signals for the Palace free kick. Did make something of it in the end there, Zach Henry. And did well in battle for possession. Well, we've just seen Palace score from one set piece in terms of the corner. This a very similar looking set piece here from this wide free kick. They'll be looking to repeat the trick. Plenty of space on the edge of the penalty area here as well for Jesse Derry. That's just been spotted by one of the Norwich defenders. The ball sent towards the back post. The header then from Moana was only met in the air though as he was off balance. All White in a bit of a sticky situation, had to get to the ball as well and did so in the end. Still the chance maybe here to break forwards though for Norwich. Seeley slips it through but too far ahead of the run of Toby Chilvers. Too close to goalkeeper Marcus Hill. Smith there, the goalkeeper at the other end, thought about coming. Stayed back in the end and left things to his defence. Neat turn there from Valencia Gomez. Tried to employ a skillful outside of the foot pass to switch the play over onto that left flank. It didn't quite work out the way that he'd intended. Now King dropping into the back line, so it's fluid, isn't it, really, in the system for Palace. Saw him stepping into midfield in possession at times earlier in the game, but on that occasion dropping more so into the back line. Here's Dashi. Cut out there by Norwich captain Adalusi. Possession picked up for Palace in an attacking area. Here's Freddie Cohen. Derry through the legs of the defender. There will be a corner. Last touch there came back off Rio Mundell, inadvertently for the Canaries. It's another corner then that they will have to defend. So can the Eagles turn this one around before half-time? Get their noses in front. Deep delivery towards the back post where the towering George King was, but actually seems to have caused his own man here. And there's another injury worry. Physio being held back at the time, for the time being at least. And back to his feet now, I think it's Walker Smith, isn't it? Back to his feet and will jog back towards his defensive role. And we wait to see, of course, how much stoppage time will be added on once we pass by the 45-minute mark. Well won there by Moana. One of those to come into the Palace team today. Forward here to Derry. Tried to chop back onto his right foot. Cohen went sliding in, but it was not penalised. I'm not sure he made any contact with the player as well as missing the ball. Walker-Smith beaten to it then though by Mundell. Driving into the penalty area, Rio Mundell. It's a good stop from Hill. Was allowed to drive through, having won the ball, but he looks dangerous, doesn't he, for Norwich every time he's on the ball. It's another save to add to the tally for Marcus Hill in this first half. Again, one which he would probably expect himself to make, but nonetheless, needed saving, didn't it? There was plenty of power behind the shot as well, in fairness. Haven't seen an indication of an allotted amount of stoppage time, so it's just going to be at the referee's discretion, really, then, by the looks of things, as for how long this one will continue for. You'd certainly expect it to be at least 3 or 4 minutes. King again in that back line. Williams. Walker-Smith certainly not afraid to drive forwards like that, is he? Tries to advance into the space when it's left for him. Always wanted to keep that one on his more preferred right foot though, didn't he, when driving down the left flank. Here's Derry. Out to Matteo Dashi. Pulled the trigger then, did Dashi, but it was blocked quickly. And now Norwich will come on the counter-attack with Chilvers. Couple to aim at as well in the centre here, and it's towed goal bound by the goal scorer, Lassian Seeley. And that time, he couldn't quite make enough contact to divert it where he wanted. Definitely those transitional counter-attacking moments where the Palace defence are most being troubled. Very open game as well. Across this first half as a whole, really. Lovely skill there from Derry. And the foul then from Rowland, who's already been cautioned. Is the referee going to bring out a second yellow card? He's already been booked. There's the complaints, but it's not going to matter. And it's the correct decision, really. And Sonny Rowland is dismissed before half-time. And Norwich are going to have to play the remainder of this game with just the 10 men. It was a bit of a delayed showing of the second yellow card, but I think it's the right decision, definitely. Cynical foul, pulled back at Jesse Derry in frustration, really, after he was beaten by a wonderful piece of skill to begin with. And Sonny Rowland was sent for an early bath, given his marching orders. And this game has now swung in Palace's favour, because although they're not in front on the scoreboard, they have the numerical advantage. And that could be a key moment come full time when we look back on the moments of the game. Seeley. Oh, White needs to be careful as well. He's also already been booked, and I think he can probably count himself a little bit lucky there that he didn't catch Seeley. Else it might have been 10 against 10. Here's Okpiabele. Okpiabele with a bit of a heavy touch, but he keeps it in play. Now Ligbo into Mundell. Tries to feed the pass through then to Daly across the face of goal, but Mundell couldn't get there. Still the shooting chance is on. Seeley saw it blocked well then though by White. And against what you might expect, it's the 10 men before half-time here who have been on the front foot, but the referee calls time on the first half after 4 minutes, nearly 5 of stoppage time. And 1-1 it is then at the midway point. Lassie and Seeley with the opening goal for Norwich from the penalty spot. Sent goalkeeper Marcus Hill the wrong way. And we are indeed then back underway. Palace attacking the goal to the right of the picture as we look at things in this second half. Given the circumstances, you would imagine that's the half of the field where the majority of the play may be. It's a good pass there to pick out the substitute actually on at half-time. Jasper Judd, number 12, has made his introduction. Seems to be playing in the right-back role. I think it's Tyler White, who therefore has been replaced, perhaps sensibly as well, given the fact that he was on a yellow card. And also went lunging into that challenge, didn't he, towards the back end of that first period. So that's 2 subs now made for Palace, with, of course, Zach Henry coming on in the first half for the injured Lamiras. And now Jasper Judd on at half-time as well. And the early signs from the half-time substitute are that he'll very much look to get forwards and advance down this right wing.
Sean, Kamari, get ready. Sean, sign on, sign on.
Free kick there taken long by Josh Smith. You'd imagine that he'll have to be on fine form in the second half as well, as he was in the first half. There's a chance here for his team at the other end though, with Daly, who goes for goal and very nearly finds it. Just curled away a little too much at the last split second there for Damari Daly. Might have been a bit of an inquest in the Palace defence as to how Daly was able to latch on to the end of what was initially nothing more than a hopeful ball forwards and get a shot away at the end of it. Had that one ended up in the back of the net, but it didn't. A let off though for Palace early on at the start of the second half. Here's KC into the penalty area for Dashi. I think he just lost track of the ball there for a moment after his shot was blocked by Jaden Owen. Derry was pleading for it to be played his way. Closer to the top of the penalty area as well. Don't think you can blame Dashi for taking a shot at goal from there though. Certainly a good quality opportunity. And a good block from the Norwich defender. Second half has very much started lively.
And again, switch on! Rio, switch on! Don't disconnect too much, Kingy. Jaden, just be aware, Jaden, not too far across Theo!
Freddie Cowan then here with this throw-in. Already has 2 assists so far this season. Like I mentioned, with Jasper Judd on the right. Cohen over on that left side, very much likes to get forward down that left wing. It's going to be Cohen to take this throw-in then here. Takes it backward. Met well in the air then by Adalusi. Helped forwards by Judd. Adalusi able to pick a pass. Norwich win themselves a throw-in. Flick header on towards Daly. Is that a foul? It is. Lawana certainly pleading his case with the referee. Not happy with the decision there against him, but the card is certainly a strong possibility given that the foul was a bit of a disagreement there as well between Two potential positions for which this free kick should be taken from. It's taken here instead from Chilvers from the closer to the goal, one of the two of them. There's Dashi. Pacey again, Benjamin Casey, but well, he's quick, but he's not going to be that quick to get there before the Norwich defender. Well closed down, doesn't break to Casey though. It's hooked clear by Adalusi. Moana sees it all the way back to Hill. Missed out last game, Marcus Hill. He's back into the team today. In possession here at the moment. 5 minutes played since the second half restart, and it's very much started as we would have expected. Apart from really that one opportunity on goal for Norwich, it's been all Palace since the penalty area here with Dashi cutting it back across the face of goal, and nobody there to latch on to the end of it to begin with, and the follow-up effort rising high over the bar from Freddie Cohen. Seemed to go past a couple in the centre. One of them was Zach Henry. Derry was in there as well. The more they keep knocking at the door, Palace, certainly the more likely they will be to get their noses in front and get the goal that they're after. Goal kick left by the goalkeeper, instead taken by Adalusi as they try to build a way forwards here. Norwich in possession. You feel that they will very much still stick to the game plan despite the adversity of being a man down. Jaden Owen fouled. Norwich not happy that Jesse Derry's kicked the ball away, and for that he will be shown a yellow card. Free kick taken forwards towards Daly. The man who had that chance for Norwich wasn't able to take it. Back then from King to Hill. Joshua Moana is the centre-back in the heart of the defence for Palace, with King to his right and Walker-Smith to his left in this setup. Into midfield it's played, and again it's a neat touch here to Toby Chilvers. Swept up well then, there though by George King, and again the goalkeeper is utilised. Of course the question that it does pose to Palace as well, playing with the extra man as they are, whether they can afford to change system a little, send more players forward perhaps. Of course time is on their side, really, so to speak. They've still got a substantial part of the game here left to play with the extra man. The foul there against Matteo Dashi looked to be an obvious one. The referee gave the foul, but yeah, you wonder whether there will be a tactical tweak if it does stay level from boss Rob Quinn as the game progresses. And this time the referee keeps the card in his pocket, aware perhaps of the number of yellow cards that he's given so far, and maybe just trying to ensure that it doesn't carry on that way. 4 Palace players already booked. Could have been a 5th there, but escaping without a caution, Dashi. Here's Williams. Now Walker-Smith. Clipping the long ball through, but it's nothing more than a hopeful ball in search of Derry. One well in the air then by Mundell, but it's Palace possession again. King. Pinpoint switch of play. Really well executed, good vision. And then the execution to match it as well. Deep delivery towards the back post. He's going to be collected here, though, by Jasper Judd. Onto his left foot, and he scores! It's a wonderful goal from the half-time substitutes. And Palace have the goal that they were looking for. It's a stroke of genius from boss Rob Quinn to introduce him at half-time. And it's a lovely goal from Jasper Judd. Overhit cross really to begin with. From one full-back to the other, it's another assist, isn't it, for Freddie Cohen? Takes him on to 3 assists for the season. And it's Judd's first goal of the campaign. On his less favoured left foot, but it didn't matter there. And Smith caught out at his near post as it just trickled by him and into the back of the net. And Palace have come from behind here to lead 2-1. And now the task in hand for Norwich has just become a whole lot more difficult. Playing with 10 men is difficult enough in itself, but when you have something to defend against, it gives you that little bit of extra motivation perhaps to put in the hard yards and graft a little more with 1 man less. But they've got to come out of the traps now and really try to take the game to Palace again. Challenge from King, and he gets the ball again with an equally good challenge just a second later. Not so sure that came off Adalusi's boot, to be honest. And I think the referee's overruled his assistant. I think fairly on that occasion. Not quite sure what the linesman saw there to point the throw in the way of Palace, but it was rightly taken for Norwich in the end. Nicely done from the visitors. Here's Chilvers. Options both sides. Outright it goes here to Seeley. To the penalty area again there. Looking for that pocket of space in behind the full-back area, in between full-back and centre-back. Something which they were looking to use in the first half on a multitude of occasions, really, in actual fact. But it didn't quite come off for them that time. Cohen. Now Williams picking up possession again. Should be more space for him in midfield as well now. Second half of the game usually brings with it a more naturally brings with it a sense of more space opening up in the second half anyhow, as well as the fact that they're playing with the extra player. Oh, losing out there though was Walker Smith. Daly leads the charge now for Norwich. Walker Smith makes amends, or goes some way to doing so, and he plays the pass forward there as well into the feet of Henry. It's a nice switch of play too, out here to Derry. Will he get his customary goal today? Cuts inside onto his right, and there it is! Right on cue, Jesse Derry at it again. And Palace have themselves a 2-goal lead. That's 7 goals so far this season now for the Palace number 11, who's in red-hot form in the Under-18 Premier League. As soon as he got the ball out wide here, you knew what was coming next. Probably the first time today that he's only had 1 defender up against him. And it's a powerful finish, one which Norwich goalkeeper Josh Smith will probably be disappointed that he wasn't able to keep out. given that it went through his legs, but it came through a crowd of bodies, and it was good enough to beat the Norwich goalkeeper, who denied Derry with the free kick save earlier in the first half, but wasn't able to keep that one out. And on the stroke of the hour, it's Palace 3, Norwich 1. And task in hand for Norwich. If it wasn't already going to be difficult enough, has just become doubly difficult now. You get the sense that Palace will continue to play with a sense of freedom now, given the scoreline and context of the game. Still work to do, though, of course, if they are to make it 2 wins from 2 either side of the international break. Break in play here at the moment. I think we're going to see another substitution. I think it's going to be another change for Palace. It looks as though Matteo Dashi is making way. Had an opportunity in front of goal in the second half with his effort, which was blocked, and he seemed disappointed there to be called off the field as he's replaced. So throwing then here for Norwich, over in their right back position. All to do for them now in the remainder of this game. Linesman is signalling for a handball, I think, as we show you the replay of the goal. You just sense that something might have been brewing there as Derry picked up possession, 1v1 against a league boat. Might have gone through a tunnel of legs, actually, through the defender's legs before going through the goalkeeper's legs as well. And it's a seventh goal of the season for Jesse Derry. Nobody has been able to handle him so far this season. He is again, goes jumping into the challenge, but got to the ball. Nawana back to Hill. Long from the goalkeeper that time, which has been a rarity, really. Often playing out short from the back. Confirmation of that substitution, seeing the introduction of Kyrese Adams-Coleman, by the way, in place of Matteo Dashi. So Adams-Coleman on in the centre of midfield. Here's Henry. The offside flag goes up against Casey. Just went a little bit too early that time, and it seemed a simple call for the linesman. Smith forwards first time. The player down here at the moment for Palace, but the game goes on. It's lofted towards the back stick. The header's much more up than away, though. Casey goes to ground, and it's going to be pounced upon then by Smith. It was Derry who was down there just for a moment. He's still clutching his back at this point, Jesse Derry, which is clearly a concern. Hopefully he'll be able to run that one off. Maybe just an awkward landing or an awkward contact in the back. The boot was raised there towards Joshua Mawana as he won the header. Just caught in his shin, I think. Declining the offer of any treatment, though, by the looks of things. And what we are going to see is a substitution here for Norwich. Foden Northover, the number 16, is coming on. Usually plays in midfield. Looks as though he's going to play on this near left side for Norwich during his time in the game today. Walker Smith losing out. Lost possession. In fairness, there's plenty of yellow shirts flooding forwards there as well, but now they've got to get back. Adams-Coleman with possession, and it's not the pass that Benjamin Casey was hoping for there, I don't think. Not on the same page as Adams-Coleman, because there was certainly the chance to penetrate the Norwich back line. Lovely skill. All the way across here to Jasper Judd again, right across the face of goal, and nobody could get a touch to it. It runs all the way through for the Norwich throw-in. Excellent work again, though, for Palace going forward and into that final third where they've been so dangerous. I just wonder whether the replay might have suggested a slight nick off Finlay Oligbo, the Norwich right back, but if so, it wasn't spotted by the referee, and the throw-in was given to Norwich, but it was a teasing, fierce delivery, wasn't it, from Jasper Judd? Already with his goal since he came on at half-time, and that time nearly turning to be the provider. Oh, great challenge there as well from Judd, who wins it back. It's a lovely clip ball through here to Henry. Swept up by Okpiabele. Header from Williams. Going to Derry. Back to Williams again. Rushed as he was quickly closed down. Space again in midfield for here the substitute Foden Northover. Tries to find the pass up to Seeley. Couldn't quite find Seeley. Moana turns it out for the corner kick. Chances have been, and you expect still to be, somewhat few and far between for Norwich in the second half with 10 men. This, an opportunity though here from the set piece. A chance for them to ask a question or two of the Palace defence. Palace have been good at defending set plays so far today. It's an overhit delivery, which is always disappointing for set piece taker like that. So important, isn't it, that the delivery is spot on. Saw a precise delivery in the first half for the assist for the Benjamin Casey header. Wanting the advantage there were Palace, but the referee just a little bit quick on the whistle, perhaps, as certainly was a foul, no questions asked about that, but just maybe if he'd held back for a moment or two, the opportunity might have been there for Palace to take advantage of a potential advantage being played. Very much in control though here at this juncture now, Palace. Header on from King. Derry helps it on its way as well, but too far ahead of Jasper Judd. Turned around the corner, but won here by Kyrese Adams-Coleman, and it's a firm but fair challenge in the eyes of the referee from Afori Manteo. Another one of those off the substitutes bench for Norwich. It was a double change then, in actual fact, when Northover came on. Adalusi takes the goal kick to Smith. No foul, Williams wins it back. Mundle just lost his footing and the chance to shoot there as well. Here's Adams-Coleman. King. Now Seeley. Naturally, given that Norwich have had far less of the ball in the second half than they did in the first period, we've seen a lot less of Seeley and Mundle, the two main danger players and threats for the Canaries in this second period. Oligbo's throw. Forwards down the line. Trying to turn the Palace defence, but it was cut out well by King. Adams-Coleman spreading the play out here to Jasper Judd. Adams-Coleman has seen a lot of the ball since his introduction, and there's space here to drive into for Derry. He'll go for goal again. That time it's blocked away well by Okpia Bailey. Now Northover. Opportunity to deliver. Overcooked though. It runs all the way through and out for the goal kick. Even so, when you look at the numbers of players in the box in terms of, well, 2 Norwich players forward there against, I think it was 4 Palace defenders close by, it was going to take a pinpoint delivery, wasn't it? Really a perfect cross to cause any problems still for the Palace defence. Adams-Coleman in possession again, up to Derry. And he's the runner through midfield, and look at how much space he's got to run into. Derry pulling the trigger again. It's inadvertently blocked by Henry. And the offside flag in the end goes up against Henry, I think, as he accidentally blocked Derry's shot. There's the replay. Yeah, good call. In fairness there to the linesman. It's actually a good save, isn't it, from Smith in the moments after. Not that it would have counted nonetheless. Wouldn't have counted anyway, so a save which, in that sense, didn't need to be made, but still Smith flying across his goal to his right to keep the ball out. Latest substitution for Norwich sees the introduction of Finlay Cork, the number 17 who makes his introduction here. He's actually going to lead the line as well here for the remainder of the game for Norwich. He's on to replace Damari Daly. Long forward from Moana. Just needed to be at a slightly different angle. Judd into Adams-Coleman. A couple of options there for a pass, using Judd again. He delivers first time, and it's right onto the head of the striker Benjamin Casey, who had a whole load of room in the centre as well. Maybe just came at him a little bit too quickly. Now Williams really beginning to strut their stuff out there now, aren't they, Palace? Playing with such a freedom that I mentioned earlier. Only natural given the game state, but it's good to see from Rob Quinn's side. I think I said when it happened that the red card could prove to be a crucial moment in the second half of the game as well, given the impact that it would have, and it's played out that way, hasn't it? Can't underestimate the impact that it's had on what's happened in the second half. But still, Palace have had to go about the job professionally and certainly It's not every time that you play against 10 men that you go on to win the game, is it? So, you know, they've scored 2 excellent goals in this second half, and you shouldn't take any of the light off that. It's a good switch there from King all the way across to Cohen. Dispossessed that time. Not many times we've said that today about the advanced left wing back, though. It's a good slide there from Moana to help it back to Hill. Up there towards Zach Henry, who hasn't seen too much of the ball since he came on in the first half. He was the first off the substitutes bench to replace the injured Lamiras. Of course, his first game for over a year now. He's been out more than 12 months with a long-term injury. So I think in terms of defining success for him today, probably much about the fitness aspect, more so than impacting the game with the ball as much. But still time, of course, for him to do that as well. Here he is now with the ball. Henry with the left-footed delivery. Hangs it up at the back post. Judd with the header back across. Derry, nice touch. Can he get a shot away? He can. Of course he can. Adalusi there, though, makes the block. And Derry maybe just with a sign of suffering, perhaps with cramp a little there. So he just stretches out his muscles and he's back to his feet for this corner. Taking their time over the taking of this corner here at the moment, Palace. In fact, it is going to be Derry here who comes across short to receive from that corner kick. The referee not happy with something in the centre. Substitution being made. That's partly why as to the delay, and Jerome Asai is on again there for Palace. That's their last substitution. Corner now has been taken short, and Derry again trying to work his magic. Doesn't quite play out how he'd envisaged that time. Now Cohen. Derry. Moana. Went forward for the corner, then retreated back when Derry initially lost possession. Walker Smith. Moana. And that's a foul on Henry. Another change here, ready to happen, of course, for Norwich. Palace have used all of their opportunities to make substitutions now, and Gabriel Keita is going to come on here. Usually plays in defence, perhaps it's just a case of damage limitation now for Norwich. I think it's a like-for-like change in the back line nonetheless. Keita, who was substituted at half-time in the last game, on here for the remaining 10 or so minutes. King under a bit of intense pressure. He wins the free kick there for the foot, which was just left in by the left back Jaden Owen. It's a settled game now, with Palace having this cushion on the scoreboard, with the distance between the two teams and the extra man for Palace playing a factor in that. King. Owen wins it. To the back there as well. Instead it comes here to Northover. Opportunity to shoot maybe for Cork. He picks the pass instead. And wanted it played back his way. Adams Coleman with the header. Can't get it clear yet though. Breaks in the penalty area to Seeley. And now it's cleared away. And Palace have possession again, and it's volleyed forwards, and they're through on goal again, and Derry with so much confidence. It would have been some goal had that one ended up in the back of the net. Saw the goalkeeper off the line. And Jesse Derry, well, his eyes must have lit up again. You just wonder whether if he had that moment back, might have looked to drive through and take a few touches before shooting for goal, but he went for the spectacular. Who can blame him? The league's top goal scorer, as you might have already worked out, given that he's scored 7 in what, the 4 league games so far this season now. Excellent going, isn't it, for the Crystal Palace young man, and you have to feel the way it's going for him this season. It's only heading in one direction, and you wouldn't be surprised if he was even knocking on the door of the senior team by the end of the season if he continues in this sort of fashion. Owen. Now Northover. Owen still with energy on an overlapping run. Moana's header. I think he's done well in defence into the team today. Joshua Moana, certainly in the second half. Really been the dictator of things in that back line, in the central centre-back role. Norwich free kick. Plenty more to come for you on Palace TV. This afternoon we'll have live audio commentary of the first team game against Leicester. Saturday, 3 o'clock. Kick-off time for that one from Selhurst Park. Also have audio commentary for you from the Carabao Cup game on Tuesday night against Queen's Park Rangers, so make sure you do tune into both of those on Palace TV. Sure place to keep up to date with everything Palace. Rio Mundell, who certainly hasn't had the impact on this second half as he did in the first half, disappointingly for Norwich. Just leaving the throw in there. He's got the ball now. Wriggles free of the first challenge. Moana went sliding in, and the referee's going to give the free kick, and Moana has already been cautioned. Not a cynical foul like it was for the second yellow, which was shown to Sonny Rowland at the back end of the first period, but it was certainly a lunge, wasn't it? Different context, different game, different referee maybe, and I think Moana might have been shown a second yellow there as well. Very similar sort of position for this set piece, as we saw in the first half with the free kick which Jesse Derry saw saved. I think that one was just a little bit further back. This one going to take a little bit more technique to get up over the wall and back down in time from such a close distance. Left here for Finlay Aligbo against the bar, and it's bounced the right side of the line, says the referee again. It's a lovely goal, isn't it, from Aligbo? Such quality on the strike, and I'm just looking at the referee for a moment as to where it bounced down to. I think he got trapped, lost sight of the ball. I think he got trapped at the bottom of the post. And well, Norwich have themselves back to just the 1 goal behind. It's a superb strike from the Norwich City right back. Finlay Aligbo. Oh, it's a wonderful goal, and it almost doesn't do it justice that it didn't ripple into the back of the net. We didn't get the satisfaction of that, but well, for Palace, certainly got a warning sign or two now here to contend with in the closing 5 minutes. Down to ground in the penalty area there was George King. And the clearance away from Moana. It was his foul that led to the goal. So it was so close in, and it would have taken a lot of quality and the technique to get it up and down in time. But it was just astonishing how that one was so accurate into the postage stamp of the top corner. It was an amazing goal. All credit where credit's due to the Norwich City full-back for that. King's throw-in. No need for Palace to panic. It should just prove to be a consolation goal at the end of the game for Norwich if this goes Palace's way. If they carry on playing how they were, Palace, then they'll be okay. It's a big if though, isn't it? Because now Norwich have got their tails up, Palace on the ropes a little bit. Even just moments like that, you see a bit of a clearance away from Judd, where perhaps before he would have looked to take a touch and maybe play a pass. It's the mental side of the game coming to the fore at the end of the 90 minutes here. Perhaps even more so than the technical and physical aspects. It's a foul. And there's some more defending to do here for Palace again. All of a sudden, it's gone from what was a very comfortable closing to the game to a nervy one now for Rob Quinn's team. It's a mix of zonal and man-marking defensive systems here, as we see from so many teams nowadays. Two in the wall as well, despite the acute angle. Clipped all the way towards the back post, and it's really well defended against there by Seb Williams. Did so well to just glance that away because it was such a teasing ball, and the goalkeeper was almost boxed in as well. Now Mundell looking to dictate the midfield again. Seeley. Excellent tackle from Judd, and he might be away from Seeley as well, and he's driving forwards here. Goes to ground then. Jasper Judd, he's quickly back to his feet, and he has to get back. Helped forward there first time. Here's Foden North over. Is he going to get a corner from it? He's not. The referee's given a foul anyway against the substitute. Closing in now on the final 60 seconds of normal time. No fourth official is there in these under-18s games. That's why we didn't see an indication of a stoppage time amount in the first half. And it'll be the same again here at the end of the 90. I'd like to think that the players, though, would be aware from the referee as to how long they've got to see the game out. Or, of course, from the visitors' point of view, how long they've got left to go and find an equalising goal. Seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it, since the Lassie and Seeley penalty which got the scoring underway. Here's North over. What can he do for Norwich? Past the first challenge, lays it off to the left. Two players there, clipped towards the back post, and that's such a pressure-relieving moment, isn't it, for Palace, as goalkeeper Hill came out quickly to claim. Nothing better, I'm sure, there for the Palace defence than to see their goalkeeper able to gather that one with his grateful hands. Palace still in search of another goal to kill the game. Sometimes say that the best form of defence is to continue attacking. Derry. Cohen. Both standout performers across the 90 minutes, but they need to ensure that it counts for 3 points. Jaden Owen with the header. Adalusi back to Smith and forward into the feet of Vafori Mantiao. Owen's long ball forward was wayward of Northover. Northover jumping again. Battle on for possession in midfield, which Norwich win and come away with the ball from. Nothing that Rob Quinn can do to change the game at this late stage either, having used all of his substitute options. And Zach Henry, his first game back after injury, remember, having had to play a lion's share of the game, having come on in the first half. Usually see players eased back into things, but he's somewhat being thrown in the deep end. Seconds of stoppage time now played, and all of a sudden it's a bit of a role reversal, isn't it? It's gone from Palace attacking against a Norwich defence, attack against defence in that sense, to completely the other way around. Would be quite something if Norwich can find an equalising goal with 10 men. Through the legs there of Ligbo, the man who's given Norwich hope in these final minutes, and it does here run out for the corner. So more defending to do for Palace if they are to get over the line. Foden Northover has made his way across from left to right here to take it in. The goalkeeper Josh Smith is forward as well. Northover's delivery towards the near post, it's headed away. Derry is there, there's no goalkeeper in net, and there's an opportunity here to run for the hills and run towards the goal. There's a chase on for it. Who's going to get there first? It's finished off by Kyrese Adams-Coleman, and Palace put the seal on things here in stoppage time. Norwich sent everyone in goal, including the goalkeeper, forward there for the corner. And Kyrese Adams-Coleman makes them pay for it. Derry setting Adams-Coleman away. It looked for a split second as though he might have been caught by the substitute Gabriel Keita, who was close to getting there, but couldn't quite get there in time. And it's the simplest of finishes in the end for the substitute Adams-Coleman. And Palace now just taking any pressure in these final minutes away from themselves. And Norwich left thinking about what might have been on another day for them. It's Palace 4, Norwich 2. Four Palace goals and 4 different Palace scorers as well. It's an excellent way, isn't it, to finish off the game as well, just to, as I say, relieve the pressure. Pressure causes funny things to happen. When it came out to the edge of the penalty area, Palace sensed the chance to break. I thought at first Derry might shoot himself, but was pragmatic in taking the sensible option of providing the assist for Adams-Coleman. And that was pretty much the final action, because the referee's blown the full-time whistle, and Palace have won this one by 4 goals to 2. 1-1 it was at half-time, remember. Palace coming back from behind to pick up their second win in a matter of as many games. Lassie and Seeley got the opening goal, what seems like a long time ago now, from the penalty spot in that first half, before an equaliser from Benjamin Casey, a header from a corner, brought us back level before the break. And then second half goals from substitute Jasper Judd, Jesse Derry, who got his goal again, takes him on to 7 for the season now for the Palace star man.